Planet Dolan. How much rain falls worldwide in just 1 minute? What exactly is blood rain? From flaming tornadoes to avalanches, we go over 15 of the most interesting weather conditions you'll ever see. I'm Danger Dolan, and today I will be your narrator.
Number 15.
Watermelon snow sounds like a delicious summer treat, but it's really not something you should eat. It's snow that takes on a pinkish color in cold climates because of a red-tinted algae that thrives in freezing water. That algae is poisonous, so yeah, don't eat the watermelon snow.
Number 14.
While rare, it is possible for it to rain fish. Of course, it's not like the fish form from the clouds themselves. Fish and other aquatic life sometimes get sucked up in a water spout and carried in a storm system before being dropped back down to Earth. Most of the time that just happens over the water, but once in a while an unsuspecting town gets a surprise seafood delivery. And no, it has never happened with sharks, but it has happened with alligators.
Number 13.
When you see a hurricane or typhoon, there's no doubt the flashiest thing about them is the high winds. So when you think about fatalities during a hurricane, you likely think about people being hit with flying street signs and random sheets of metal. But actually, almost 90% of deaths from a hurricane are a result of water, not wind. The storm surge and flooding is by far the deadliest part of the storm.
Number 12.
Antofagasta, Chile, is by far the driest place on Earth, which is a little surprising since it's a port city. On average, the city receives about 1/10 of a millimeter of rain per month. They average about 5 days of precipitation per year, but it's not unusual for them to go an entire year without so much as a drop of rain.
Number 11.
Getting struck by lightning is like the ultimate gold standard in bad luck. But there's some good news. In the 1 in 3 million chance that it does happen to you, you're very likely to survive. About 90% of people struck by lightning live to see another day. Of course, you may not come out of it with your memories intact, or your hair, or, basic motor skills, but hey, you'll be alive.
Number 10.
It sounds like a magic spell or a Pokemon move, but a fire whirl is an actual scientific thing. They're not technically tornadoes since they don't extend up to the base, but during wildfires, flame and ash can combine with turbulent wind conditions to create a vortex of flame that burns at over 2000 degrees Fahrenheit. They may be small, but these fire whirls can generate winds of up to 100 miles per hour and last for more than an hour.
Number 9.
Blood rain, like watermelon snow, is a totally real thing that isn't at all what it sounds like. It happens when dust or sand, usually from deserts, get caught up in a storm. That desert sand mixes with the storm clouds and eventually comes down in the rain, tinting the rain the color of the sand. Most of the time it's yellowish or brown, like sand. But some sand is reddish colored as well. When that mixes with the rain, it can make your whole town look like a death metal album.
Number 8.
Obviously snow doesn't fall as fast as rain, while rain just sorta comes straight at ya. Snow floats down at its own pace. But how long does it actually take? Meteorologists estimate that under normal conditions, a snowflake takes about 45 to 60 minutes from the time it leaves the cloud to the time it hits the ground. Oddly enough, larger flakes tend to fall even slower, because they have parachute-like qualities that increase air resistance as they fall.
Number 7.
We usually talk about rain in terms of inches or centimeters, not in terms of its weight. But water is heavy. On average, the planet Earth gets about 1 billion tons of rain every minute of every day.
Number 6.
About 10% of the moisture in the atmosphere is released by plants through a process called transpiration. It's like evaporation, only the plants release water vapor directly into the air. Even though there's literally tons of water being dropped on the earth every day, it finds a way to get it back. A single acre of corn gives off about 4,000 gallons of water every day. That's about 16.7 tons of water.
Number 5.
There are many different types of avalanches, but the dry slab avalanche accounts for almost all fatalities in North America. This is an avalanche where giant slabs of snow and ice break loose and hurl themselves down a slope at a rate of about 220 miles per hour. For reference, a hurricane only has to have 156 miles per hour winds to be considered a category 5. And hurricanes are just carrying wind, not football field sized slabs of ice.
Number 4.
It sounds obvious that the biggest tornadoes would cause the most death, but it's worse than you think. Tornadoes rated at F4 or F5 on the Fujita scale are rare. Only 1 to 2% of all tornadoes get that big. Yet that 1 or 2% of tornadoes are responsible for 70% of all tornado-related fatalities.
Number 3.
As you likely figured from the whole blood rain thing, the rain that falls from the sky isn't pure water. It has little particles and stuff in it from the environment. That means there are some tiny bacteria and microorganisms in rainwater that have tiny bits of vitamin B12 in them. However, it's too small an amount to really help you. Most of the measurable B12 found previously in rainwater comes from runoff. Either way, don't drink it. Not unless you're desperate.
Number 2.
It's tough to measure this exactly, but it's estimated that the average hurricane produces enough energy to power the entire planet several times over. To be exact, a hurricane releases about 600 trillion watts of heat energy over its lifespan, about 200 times the capacity of every electricity producing structure on Earth. Of course, hurricanes are also extremely inefficient, so only about 0.5% of that actually gets converted into wind energy.
Number 1.
A bad heat wave can make it impossible to fly and dangerous to leave children, animals, or chocolate in the car. But it can also screw things up for trains. Extreme heat has been known to bend train tracks so badly, trains have to cut their speed in high heat just in case they hit one of those bends. If they were to hit those spots at their normal speed, there's a good chance they would derail. So guys, what's the weirdest thing you know about weather? Let us know in the comment section down below or pin it favorite to the top. This video was made possible by our fans over on Patreon. Thanks for your support, guys. That is it for this countdown. Have a good one!